Hello everybody, this is Andrew here, and I am here to talk about Hillary Clinton's claims that Bernie Sanders is a one-issue candidate. I'm going to dispel those notions, even though he's not a one-issue candidate. He obviously talks about more things like $15 an hour wages, talks about healthcare for all, college for all. So it's not, he doesn't talk about one issue, obviously, and if you believe that, I'm sorry, but he doesn't, and you should take my word and many other people's word for it. But now I'm also going to talk about, even if he was a one-issue candidate and his one issue was the corrupt campaign finance system, that's more than one issue. And I'm going to actually show a flowchart I made on the screen probably right about here that I'm actually going to be releasing on Facebook and Twitter and things like that after when I upload this video, and I want to spread the word to show how it's not actually one issue, and even if it was, even if he did speak about one issue, it's the corrupt campaign finance system is much more than just one issue. Because how the corrupt campaign finance system works is all of these big corporations and businesses give money to presidential candidates, and they expect those presidential candidates to give something in return. Hillary Clinton might not say it on stage, and she actually lies, in my opinion, and says, they have never changed my views, they give me money just because they want to give me money. But the American people are not stupid. They know that when somebody gives you money, they're wanting something in return. These businesses aren't going to lose millions and millions of dollars just because. They are giving money, so Hillary or other candidates, basically all other candidates, besides Bernie, and even Trump now, I have heard reports that he actually has a super PAC, even though he denied it. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I wouldn't surprise me with Trump. But they're giving money because they want the presidential candidate to basically be a spokesperson for them, and not even a really spokesperson, but somebody who will do what they want. So I'm going to link the flowchart, my Facebook post and Twitter post, and possibly even Tumblr post in the description. Share it. Even you can, share the image if you believe what I'm saying, if you trust me, and if you just even agree with it. You don't have to trust me, even if you agree with what I'm saying and what I show in the chart. Okay, so why it's not one issue, it's because, yes, it's one broad issue, but that broad issue stems to other things like Wall Street giving money, the pharmaceutical companies giving money, private companies giving money. They're all giving money because they want something out of it. So when Wall Street gives money to Hillary, they're expecting Hillary not to go regulate the banks. The pharmaceutical companies are expecting Hillary to not go and lower the price on drugs, or to give a healthcare for all system, or to stop and to regulate them more. When the private, any private industry, they're expecting something out of it. So I gave those two examples, and that's what's actually in my flowchart, because I didn't want to make it too complex. So you have to believe me when I say that it's more than one issue, because the Wall Street and the pharmaceutical company, they're two different entities, and they bring two different issues to the table. So that's why you need to stop the finance system where they can give all of the money to the candidates and then get what they want in return. So this is basically these companies buying elections. They are giving the money to the candidates, so then the candidates spend on ads, they can spend on people on the ground in these places, and they can just have such a higher workforce spreading their ideas. Well, the candidate that they so choose, so people will vote for them, and then they'll get basically somebody at the president's desk who will do their bidding. That's how it works. They pay for the candidate to run, so the candidate does what they want. That's just how it is, and that's how it's been going on. But Bernie is the only one who actually has not taken any super PAC money, and all of his donations are from basically individual people donating money. Like 3.1 million individuals have donated money, and the average donation is $27. I bet we've all heard it if you have ever listened to anything Bernie has ever said. So, where I'm going to connect these things and why it's not a single issue is I'm going to start off with the banks. Okay, so now, when the banks give money, they're expecting the presidential candidate, if they got into office, to not regulate the banks. Now Bernie, he has never taken any money from the banks, so when he gets in office, he's especially going to go hard on the banks, so he'll regulate them. And what regulating the bank does is, it stops the bank from they're being held accountable for all of the illegal actions that they have committed before, and if they do continue to commit them, they'll be prosecuted, and it won't just be a fine. The leaders of the bank will be prosecuted. And then where he's also getting at the banks is a tax on speculation. The tax on speculation is a very big thing, because what it is going to allow the U.S. government to do is implement a free college tuition for public universities and colleges, so that people can go to school. And what that leads to being able to do is then people won't have to worry about the debt. People can be like, I'm going to go to college and be much better off and not be $100,000+ in debt when I get out. So then they're going to go to college. Then what's going to happen then? We're going to have a more skilled workforce. We're going to have more people actually getting jobs with skill requirements that they previously had. And then that leads to people's wages rising, people being more intelligent, which is also a big thing that will help. And then that's going to stem down to, even in my flow chart I talk about, then they're going to have the 9-to-5 job that they got through a college degree, and they're going to be able to support their family. They're not going to have to maybe go through illegal means, and they're not going to even have to work the 3-4 jobs that I know some people do, which is very bad. And it's not bad, it's just sad to see that people have to go through that just to support their family. So then they're going to have more time with the kids, more time of parenting, and then that's going to stem down to the children, and the children is the next generation. Those are the people we need to care about the most, because they're the people who are going to be stepping up after. I'm even considered a kid now, and we are the people who are going to be stepping up after the next generation leaves, even though they're never going to be gone, but we're going to be moving up in power. So we need to be better parented, in my opinion, in some cases. We need to have more parental figures in our life, so we're not out on the streets, we're not out doing what we know we shouldn't be doing. So that's where it helps with the big banks. It stems all the way down from them taxing them for money for college. Then the college goes to the people who are going to go get an education, so they can get a better job, have more money to support their family, and then they can support their family better by not having to work 3 jobs, and then they can parent better. It's all just stems down from the Wall Street, and that's why it's multiple issues combined into one, as you'll be able to see on the flow chart and the description or wherever else you see it. Then with the big pharmaceutical companies, it's also another big thing, because those are the people who create the medicine that we need, that some people need to even live. In them being able to drive up the prices on medications at their own will without any government intervention is just, it's ludicrous, because they can just do that, and then somebody who needs some medication can't afford it now. And then the person just left in the dust, be like, well, there's nothing I can do, I don't have the money. So they're done. So that's why he is wanting to regulate the pharmaceutical company more, so there's a cap on how much they can have the drug price. So then they can't just rise the price and then leave people in the dust and care more about their profits than their patients. Then where it also comes down to is where he wants a healthcare for all system, so everybody, 100% of Americans can get healthcare that is provided through the government. Now, people say it's not going to work, it's going to be too expensive, it's going to raise taxes. Well, it raises taxes $500, but most people's health costs through their employers is around $5,000. So you're still then saving $4,500 a year in health. So you're only paying $500 more in taxes, but you're not paying the $5,000 or however much you pay to your employer or wherever else you get your insurance from. And then where that helps is now everybody who has even like mental illnesses in general, they can then get the help they need. And once they get the help they need, maybe their illness has been having an impact on their family, and that's been causing strain. Maybe the parent can't go to get a job because they're ill in some way. Maybe they can't support their family, they can't parent their kids because they can't afford health care, and they can't physically or mentally do it because they're ill. And then now we get this system where everybody has health care, then they can get the help they need. Maybe if they're even addicted to drugs, they can then go to a treatment center. They can get the help they need so they can not be addicted to drugs. Maybe not potentially go to jail for being addicted to something that they don't really, after a while, have a choice to be addicted to. It's just, if you don't do it, then you're getting extreme withdrawals. They need the help and be able to go to the treatment centers and the addiction centers so they can get off of that, because a lot of them want to get off, not be addicted to drugs anymore. They don't like it, but they don't have a way to not do that. So that it's also covered under his health care for all plan. and then those people go get help. People with illnesses go get help from the healthcare system that everybody just gets, and then what does that do? That leads the people who couldn't get a job because they were either addicted to drugs or mentally ill, physically ill, then they can get a job. Then they can in turn support their families. They can be a role model to their children. Their children can look up, then their children can see them as not somebody who's maybe mentally ill, and actually have a person, a father figure, a mother figure who has got the help they needed so they can be what their children needs as a parent. And then that will in turn let the kids be able to then have the parent, and then it goes back to the other situation where they won't have to be on the streets. They won't not have to be on the streets, but won't be on the streets because they'll actually have parental figures in their lives that are able to care for them and able to support them, so they won't feel left. The kids won't feel left out. And then where does that lead you? That leads kids who had better parental figures and better figures in their life, so then they strive to be better. And then now the kids strive to be better because they actually had better figures in their life. And then now I can actually go to college because it's free and I won't have to worry about debt. And then they actually go and do it. So then now you're seeing both sides of the coin where their parents got college education, or eventually once later down the road, and then those kids saw their parents as more of a role model, and then those kids could even go to college, and then the parents who needed health care got the health care they needed. Those kids saw their parents as a role model even more, or even anybody as a role model that they even saw. They have the abilities and the opportunities to go to then college. And then what does that do? That leaves the younger people who they'll be reinvigorated by the role models in their life who now have all of the opportunities they need to succeed. And then what does that leave you? It leaves you a future to believe in. Thank you.